Namaste, I am Nirmal Madhyadhikari from Department of Languages and Mass Communication, Kathmandu University. Currently, I am also working as the Bharat Muni Chair Research Fellow at the Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal, India. Today, I am going to speak on the Sadharanikaran model compared to Western models of communication. Basically, there are so many communication models developed in the West. I will be considering Aristotle's model of communication, ritual model of communication, as well as the transmission approach of communication. From the location of Bharatvarsha, which includes Nepal, India and other countries, specifically two communication models have been constructed. One, the Sadharanikaran model of communication that I first constructed and proposed in 2003, and the second one, the Bhatta Mimamsa model of communication that I constructed through my Doctor of Philosophy dissertation. But in today's discussion, I will be focusing on Sadharanikaran model of communication. So when we see different communication situations, it always depends on what kind of society on which we are discoursing about the communication model. The theorization of communication and building communication models always depends on the time and space we are considering, we are observing, we are studying. So in the Western context, when we see Aristotle's model of communication, it was constructed at a specific time period when the Greek city-states were exercising their particular type of political system. So all the citizens were gathered in the city-state and they all were considered equal to participate in the political process, but only when you were able to persuade others, your point of views would be accepted by others. So the basic focus of Aristotle's model of communication seems to be public communication, where one particular speaker being capable of persuading others. So when West developed in terms of science, technology, and they started expanding their colony, then they needed slight modification of Aristotle's model. Earlier, the communication was between the citizens, that is of the same society, having more or less equal status in the society, but one being able to persuade others in order to be the leader considered by all of those who were participating in the political process in the city hall. But here, with the development of these industries and when they were seeking market, they needed to expand their market as well as they needed to communicate with so many others. So there came the issue of we and others. So while doing so, the point of view prevalent in the West was the best. They were the civilized ones, and others, they were not. They were just the subjects. They were to be subjugated. So in the transmission model, the point of view is to conquer over time and space. So here the supremacy of the sender due to their access, their ownership over the communicating mechanism. So but we can see this transmission model of communication is a logical extension of Aristotle's model of communication. So later on, when Carey studied the Christian society, he found both Aristotle's model and its new version, transmission approach of communication, improper to Christian society. We can take the Sunday prayer gathering as an example. There was no question of persuading others. There was even no question of subjugating others, but they were already having common faith, and due to that faith, they were gathered there, and there was a sort of communionship commonness, even we may say fraternity. So here the case was more to maintain the equilibrium. So he defined communication in different way. But let us take the situation of Bharatvarsha, as I told, which includes Nepal, India, and so many other countries in the present day. But largely, people of Nepal and India inherit the tradition of that culture, that geo-cultural entity called Bharatvarsha, which is rooted to Vedic civilization. So for them, from the right beginning, the society was of different kind. That means in the Europe, the formation of states, they were mostly in ethnic lines. So they emphasized homogeneity. And at least in words, there was commonality among the people. But here in case of Bharatvarsha, the society was heterogeneous from the right beginning. There was diversity, there was plurality in terms of caste, creed, language, in terms of religious practices, customs, so many things. So here the situation was to attain commonness among the people who were otherwise diverse, heterogeneous, and of different background. So here the thinkers emphasized to attain communionship through communication. But there, based on different situations, the purpose of communication was of different kind. So if we see the structure of communication model in Aristotle's notion, it is obviously linear, where the sender is considered supreme and sender must have power to persuade the receiver, and the receiver will be persuaded by the sender if the sender has capacity to do so. Otherwise, the communications would be considered a failure. So supremacy of the sender makes the communication process largely one-way flow of information. In case of ritual model, though there is no question of dominating the receivers by sender or whatsoever, but they were assuming that commonness was already existing in the society, at least among the believers, and the role of communication was just to maintain that situation. Maintaining the status quo was important. In case of transmission model, here the others were considered very lowly, and they were to subjugated, they could be manipulated, and more emphasis was on to develop such mechanism, such technology by which you can reach to large number of people across the vast territory. So here also transmission model also a largely linear model. In case of ritual, it seems non-linear, but that non-linearity does not ensure continuous feedback between sender and receiver. Rather, there is lack of sufficient interaction between those parties. They were a follower of an existing order. When we see the case in Sadharanikaran model of communication, here the communicating parties are ideally considered Sahridayas. That means there is no distinction in terms of the capacity to be involved in communication. Even if the receiving party would be not capable to communicate pertinently in the beginning, ideally in the last they also will share the same emotion, they will be able to experience the same rasa at the end of the communication process. So the process is clearly non-linear. We can see the notion of time and space envisioned in Vedic Hindu text clearly applicable in this situation. So the communication mostly becomes circular, and the non-linearity removes the chance of subordination there. So both sender and receiver are treated equally, hence the communication model is non-linear there. When we enter the issue of scope of communication models, in case of Aristotle's model of communication, obviously the scope was the public communication. Later, when mass communication was developed, it was considered the logical extension of Aristotle's model in the new context. Here, scope is to deliver information from one point to another point, and whenever the receiver received the information successfully, willingly, unwillingly, it was considered successful. In case of transmission model, the subjugation was aimed, and the ownership of mass media, ownership of technology was important, since one party was obviously at the receiving end, and the structure of the mechanism was linear. The receiving party could not enjoy the same reciprocity in the process, and the objective, the goal of communication would be obviously to have certain influence over the receiver. So scope is to maintain a kind of order to achieve supremacy of the communicating sending party. So its scope would be, when we see from the point of view of various levels of communication, it would be up to the mass communication level. But when we see the crux of the matter, ultimately there would be the conveyance of message as intended by the sender. And when we see the goal of communication, in case of Aristotle, in case of ritual, in case of transmission model, the objective was mostly limited to a physical or mundane world. In case of ritual model, we may extend it to mental world also. But when we see Sadharanikaran model of communication in all these matters, we can see in Hinduism, human life is considered consisting of three dimensions: Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik. And here we have fourfold goals of human life. Purusartha Chatuštaya, that means Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So any communication model developed from the Hindu society, which is representing Vedic Hindu civilization, should consider all of them. So Sadharanikaran model is constructed in such a way, it consists of Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik. Then it also explains the goal should be Dharma, Artha, Kama as well as Moksha. So when we see from the point of view of the structure of the model, Sadharanikaran model is non-linear, as I have already explained it, mentioned it. So then when we see human relationship, then both sender and receiver, they are said sender and receiver only technically, in order to have easiness to describe the communication process. Otherwise, both of the parties, they communicate simultaneously. They, though their interrelationship may be asymmetrical, like the guru and the shishya, but they enjoy a sense of Sahridayata. Sahridayata makes it possible to have successful flow of information both way. Hence, they have a sense of companionship that makes it unique, and there is difference between ritual model. In case of ritual model also, there is emphasis on commonality, companionship, etc. But there, the companionship, commonality, etc. are preconceived ideas. They are suppositions. And here, the Sadharanikaran model begins with the acknowledgement of the diversity, plurality, heterogeneity in the society, and later on there will be Sarideta, that is communion among the communicating parties. Hence, the commonality, sharing, communionship in case of Sadharanikaran model of communication is that of its goal, whereas in case of ritual model, that is presupposition. It is the difference. And in case of the scope is broader in case of Sadharanikaran model of communication. It has to focus not only the physical or mundane world, it has to go to Adidaivik as well as Adhyatmik. And it is explained that the culture makes people able to know all these aspects and experience all the developments, go through all the stages of development, how they are taught by the society, by the family, by the guru, by social institutions to do accordingly. So when we see the objective of communication, goal of communication, here obviously Sadharanikaran model of communication has broader objectives. In the physical world, the objective would be successful transmission, delivery, sharing of information. And in the Adidaivik or mental world, there should be communionship among the people. They must feel that they are part of the whole society, as it is said et pinde tat brahmande, and as it is said in the Vedic Hindu texts, the same Paramatma is manifested through all the beings, not only human beings, but other creatures in the world, even non-living things. They all are the part of same Paramatma, same Parabrahma. So this makes them sympathetic to Saridaya, to all the universe. So here in the mental world, Adidaivik world, there should be communionship, commonality among the people. And in the Adhyatmic dimension, the goal is here moksha. So dharma, artha, kama, they are attained through earlier two dimensions. Here in Adhyatmic dimension, the major goal becomes moksha, and through the concept of Sabda Brahman, all these things, it has been explained how moksha is possible through communication. That is why it is considered Sanchar Yoga, like as Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. It is also another yoga which brings human being up to the level of moksha. So when we see from all these perspectives, we can see Sadharanikaran model of communication has broader scope and various objectives, and its structure and the human relationship envisioned in the process is uniquely constructed, uniquely defined here. In the Western context, natural to the development of Western civilization and society, communication models explain largely the physical or mundane world, then they go to a mental world. There is no specific focus on spiritual or Adhyatmic dimension in communication models. So Sadharanikaran model of communication is inheritor of the Hindu society, which is inheritor of the Vedic civilization, Vedic philosophy, has to, by virtue of its origin, consider broader dimension of life and broader objectives of life. Then the immediate issue is, what is the significance of Sadharanikaran model of communication in the globalized world? If we see the European history, the making of nation states were on the basis of ethnic lines. For instance, Britain was for British people, France was for French people, Holland was for Dutch people, Germany was for German people, like that. So they emphasize heavily on the ethnic purity. But with the development, with the new changes, with the so-called globalization, what has happened? Let us take the example of New York. Unlike to ancient Greek cities or even London and other European cities of modern period, 17th, 18th, 19th century, even first half of the 20th century, New York consists of people of different creeds, different languages, different religion, different ethnic group, different race, different languages, different religious practices. Even London, Paris, Berlin, and so many other cities, societies have become multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multilingual, and so and so. So this is new phenomenon for the West. Earlier, they were emphasizing on ethnic, racial purity, or if that was not possible, they opted for the domination by the so-called superior race. Sometimes it is called white man's burden, like that. But in this situation, in this new situation, when globalization is preached so much, and the global institutions are made in order to ensure harmony among the people of different nations, different languages, different religions, we cannot apply Aristotle's model, we cannot apply transmission model, we cannot apply even ritual model, because this is only for the common believers. Here, then we need such a communication model that explains and that presents an exemplar where people of differences, people of heterogeneity could coexist and communicate in a harmonious way, and then attain what is called solidariety, communionship, commonality among them. So since we, people of Bharatvarsha, the Hindu society has experienced since millennia of such coexistence, of communicating among people of diverse culture, diverse custom, diverse language, and hierarchy in the society. So this society can present a communication model which is pertinent to the new phenomenon now experienced by the Westerners also. So here comes the increased relevance of Sadharanikon model of communication, since it can address the situation which now the global society is experiencing. Hence, Sadharanikon model of communication seems much more relevant than Aristotle's model, transmission model, and ritual model of communication. Here I would like to emphasize on another aspect. Both ritual model and Sadharanikon model have common type of background of origin. As ritual model of communication has its origin in Christianity, Christian society, Christian social and ritual practices, Sadharanikon model of communication is based on the practices in Hindu society. But the difference is, whereas the ritual model of communication emphasizes on maintaining the equilibrium and largely explains the communication situation between the common believers only, Sadharanikon model of communication, though it started from that point, it explains how communication can be attained successfully in the situation of conflict, situation of diversity, situation of heterogeneity. Here it acknowledges the heterogeneity, it acknowledges the diversity, it acknowledges the differences, even it accommodates the conflict, and then it envisions communionship, solidarity in its original term, as the goal. So this seems more realistic in the present world. So from all these perspectives, we can say the Hindu society has much more thing to do in the field of communication studies, communication theorization. Here, criticism of the Western models and theories of communication should not be done only on the basis that they are of Western origin, but for their shortcomings. And I think communication models should be propagated, should be constructed, should be developed and proposed from non-Western societies, not only by virtue of their being non-Western, but from the point of view of giving something more, giving something pertinent to the global human society. As a global citizen of human society, the world society, it is our contribution to the present world when we present such communication model which addresses the present condition and which provides outlets, which provides mechanisms and which provides ideals for successful communication, harmonious communication, communication of solidariety for the present world. When we see the Sadhanikan model of communication, it does so. Hence, there is a point to promote it, to think over it, to have discourse on it. Hence, I have been doing so. It was first proposed in 2003. I have been regularly working on it, and it has gone through various revisions, and it seems it will be so in the future also. In sum, the objective is to attain solidarity, to attain harmony, to have communionship, to have peace in the global world, and I invite all of you to contribute from different quarters of global society, from different cultures, from different philosophies in the domain of communication theory and model. Thank you.
यस भिडियोलाई लाइक कमेन्ट र सेयर गर्न नबिर्सिनुहोला। फेरि यस्तै रोचक भिडियोहरू हेर्नका लागि यस च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गरेर घण्टी बजाइदिनुहोला।